Hi guys, welcome to my channel Wellness and Essential Oils with Chuchi. Why are we so scared to talk? Why are we so scared to truly bond and truly be ourselves, authentic, vulnerable, honest, true? Why? That is the question which I want to ask today, surprisingly, in this video, because I've never before made a video which is not to do with essential oils or to do with Reiki, because that was the very purpose of forming this channel, to talk about things that are close to me from point of the work that I do. And this video is a very spontaneous one, and this is about something which has been concerning me and bothering me more and more of the past few years. And as I progress on my own journey of life, specifically my spiritual journey, because I see the journey of life essentially as no other journey except for essentially a spiritual journey, whether we like to admit that or not. And on this journey, I have been feeling acutely the loss of human bonds. I feel acutely the detachment among hearts. There is no more a strong heart-to-heart connection between people, even when that connection should have been there. There is no more a closeness, a truth to the bond. There is no more the desire to really get to know another person from their core, to know them for who they truly are, and to express yourself for who you truly are. So there is this extreme erosion of authenticity, or should I say this extreme fear or kind of restraint in wanting to be authentic, in wanting the world to know your true authentic self, or forget the world, wanting to be your authentic self even with people who you call your friends or your relatives. I see such a lack of that, and that is so disturbing. That is so sad, because for me at least, I think, what else are human relationships, human bonds meant to be if not true, honest, heartfelt bonds? What else are they meant to be? And I'm sure this is the way at least most of our close bonds were many years back, at least in the time of our parents and in the times of our grandparents. So what is this happening today? And it's happening at a very fast pace, which is really sad. This extreme erosion of the human touch, of the genuine touch in relationships. Everything is about fast. Everything is about networking. Everything is about being at the right places with the right people, doing the right things in the right way. And everything is about just generally to give the impression of having a good time without, it's just about creating an image. It's about creating an image and sharing in that image and building up that image and truly convincing yourself to believe in that image, that you are that image. But nobody wants to bother, nobody wants to check in what lies under that image. Nobody wants to look deep inside even their own selves. They're scared to. People are so scared of being alone. They're so scared of solitude, because when they are in solitude, they will not have an option but to look deep inside them. They'll have to turn inwards, and that is what they're scared of. They're scared of what they'll find if they're alone, if they're in solitude. And people do not want that. They desperately want to escape that. They want any distraction which can prevent them from being alone and looking into their own self and knowing themselves truly. Even they are scared even of their own, of finding out their own authenticity. That's how things have become. So everybody wants a distraction. Everybody wants to be in company all the time. Everybody wants to have maximum number of people to hang out with, or at least a certain set of people which has become part of their comfort zone. And it's like, you scratch my back and I scratch yours, but let's not know anything else about each other. Let's not go beyond that, and let's not expect anything more than that. And at least most of the bonds, I'm not saying all, but most of the bonds have become like that. And that is something which is really it's not a hopeless situation, but it's sad. It is not hopeless, because everything that flows from us, we have the power to control it. We have the power to determine it and that power comes right from within us. So it's very much within our scope, but we are not wanting to give it attention. We want to run away from it. Just look at the amount of technology which we have at our fingertips today, which has just literally brought the world closer, and the world is such a smaller place today than it ever was. WhatsApp and Facebook and social media, and there's just so much. But do you really think that's brought people closer? That's brought us closer? That's made us more intimate? That's made us more willing to know more about other people? I don't think so. It's just like we have a peak, we have a much bigger peak, and a peak much more often into other people's life, and other people, the images, the perceived, the created images of other people. It's just that we have a greater peek into all those things, but we do not have a greater peek into the true heart of the human soul, or the human being. We don't have peeks into hearts and souls. We have peeks into images, and we are very happy doing that. We are absolutely fine doing that. There's not even many of us really questioning that, really questioning why that is so, or if that is even okay, or if that is even acceptable. And that is what the strange part is. A lot of people are happy having a huge network of people around them, having a lot of people whom they call friends or even relatives. But if you really stop and ponder and scratch a little bit, you will see that it all falling away, falling down like a pack of cards. Because while we know a lot of people, we really know no one. We do not know. We know everyone, but we know no one well enough, and neither do we want to, neither are we interested to. And I find that really, really sad. I find that really sad, especially when it happens in families, in people who should be really close, who ought to be close, in bonds which are there by birth, since childhood, blood bonds, or bonds which are not blood bonds, but which ought to be that close. Friendships, real friendships. Friends are moving apart, people are moving apart. Nobody has time for anyone. Nobody really wants to know how the other person is doing. When I say that, I mean nobody truly really wants to know how another person is doing. We want to know the good parts about other people, and we have time and patience and energy and inclination just to know maybe the privileged parts of other people, and the nice parts, and parts of them which is okay for us to hear, and which we do not feel discomforted in hearing, and which we do not make us feel awkward, and which do not make us acknowledge our own lacks, and which do not make us acknowledge emotions inside us which are discomforting. So we just happy to acknowledge and listen to parts which are of people which are not very specific, which are general and feel good and mundane and nothing really deeper than that. But we get so discomforted if we have to hear parts of other people which are messy. We don't want to peek into other people's messes. We don't want to peek, but if it can be from a distance without being observed. We do not want people to directly talk to us about their traumas, about their wounds, about their messy parts, about that inside them which is ugly. And we all have those ugly portions. Trust me, we all have. It's just some of us take time to be self-aware, ponder, go within, go inwards, while a lot of us are running away constantly, running away from solitude, in which this kind of an introspection can happen. Because only in that introspection, only in that going inwards, do we start connecting with what is real and honest and authentic inside us, with who we really are, and to allow that to really determine the course of our life, to guide us in every way. And if we cannot be authentic in relationships, if we cannot be authentic ourselves, we will definitely not be creating bonds, definitely not be attracting bonds which are authentic. So we are not looking for authenticity. We are looking for time pass. We are looking for images to feed our ego and ourselves, to kill time, to have a good time, or what we perceive as having a good time. By saying this, I definitely do not mean that all conversations we have, there should be no conversation which is not real or deep, or about deeper truths, or about, of course there is a place and there's a time for humor and light-hearted conversation and even small talk perhaps at times, but not when it is at the cost of everything which is authentic and true and real, and not just an image, and not just a distraction, and not just to fit into a societal template, into a societal pattern of communication, of interaction, which is essentially becoming superficial, meaningless, worthless. Because it cannot be anything else. If we are not honest in our bonds, in our relationships, if we do not want to know people in all their ugliness and their beauty, and their best parts and their worst parts, if we do not want anything to do with that, and if we are discomforted, and if we want to distance ourselves with those parts of people, and if we do not even want to know about them, then that's not a relationship. That's not really a bond. You can have that kind of bond with a lot of people if you're not close enough to them, or you have to interact with them because you have to in order to run your life. But here I'm talking about people who you interact with because they are a closer part of your life, because they're your relatives, or they are your close friends, or people who mean something to you, or at least they ought to. So I'm talking about those kinds of bonds. Even in those bonds, there is so much superficiality. They're becoming so superficial. If even close bonds, they're becoming so superficial. And I see that personally. Just look around at any conversation which is happening in the living room. Look at the conversations which you have when you have a living room full of your relatives or other people close to you. Just look at the kind of conversation. I very rarely see topics, people going into deeply into what is it that fires another person, what is it that brings out that fire in another person, what is it, people really do not know. They do not want to know. It's all about light-hearted conversation. It's about politics, and it's about vacations, and it's about any amount of mundane things. It's about anything and everything but about things which run deeper than that, things which form our very core. And that I find very disturbing. And especially I find this trend of WhatsApp, because the world has become so closer with the amount of technology we have these days. There are almost no geographical distances in that sense. We can just get connected to anyone within seconds, but we're not using it right. Just look at WhatsApp, the kind of communication pattern which has been established through WhatsApp. It's just like a kind of mass messaging service, and we just want to maybe you have WhatsApp groups and people are sending forwarded messages 10 times a day, and these are people who will not even give the time and energy to stop and ponder once a month to send that one single line of personal thought with your name in it. Even look at festivals. In fact, what really prompted me to make this spontaneous video was the kind of messages I got a couple of days back. It was Diwali, and it's the major Indian festival, and of course I stay in United States of America, and I don't stay in India, but still we get a lot of messages from all over. We celebrate it everywhere. And even the messages, you look at the quality of messages, people are not wishing each other personally. You don't have names even in greetings. It's just like forwarded mass messages. And I'm talking about people from whom, with whom you do share that kind of bond, with whom you would have that kind of expectation. People are just sending forwarded messages, even to wish you for festivals. And that's also the reason why I had to exit from WhatsApp groups in the past. I've had to do that because I felt them a drain on my energy. I felt them an intrusion in my privacy without giving me anything else, without creating that thread of deeper bonding. So I had to exit WhatsApp groups, and probably a lot of people thought I was above them all, but on the contrary, it was not because I didn't want to bond or be close or to get to know them better. It was because I wanted all that, and I didn't see that happening at all. I see these conversations which are superficial conversations and centering around superficial topics, and a lot of mass mails, good mornings and good evenings and good nights and jokes, and that's about it. Guys, what's happening? What happened to the real, true, honest conversations? Conversations about What is it in our life that is hurting us? What is it that's making us joyous and giving us happiness? What is it that we look forward to? What is that deeper journey we are on? What about those things? Because we are all human beings. I cannot believe that there is any single one of us who is not on a journey of that depth. But there is not many of us who want to stop and ponder about that journey, or think about it, or give it much attention, because they are too scared, they're too distracted. And if that is the kind of attention we want to give to our own life, to our own authenticity, that we just want to fit into social templates and have a checklist of doing things the right way, and we do not want to expose ourselves or express ourselves beyond that because it's not the done thing, or we would feel weird, or we have this fear of being rejected. If we do that to ourselves, how can we create a space for other people to be their authentic selves? How can we create bonds which are authentic, which are what they really ought to be? Because that's what human bonds are. That's what they ought to be. What else are they meant to be if not this? What else are they meant to be? And I find this really sad that we are not willing to give of ourselves to people in a way that truly makes them feel that we are there, truly makes them feel we are there, without getting frustrated, or without getting impatient, or without feeling inconvenienced. We really are not giving. We are not ready to give of ourselves in that manner. I would love if we all think and ponder about it. I'm sure that there would be some of you at least who would agree with what I'm saying, or whatever I'm saying will resonate with you. But even if there are those of you who are confused or not really convinced with what I'm saying, and you feel that your relationships are going the perfect way and everything you see around in terms of bonding and relationships is perfect, and there's I'm being too critical, maybe that's what you feel, then that's okay too. I respect your opinion, but at the same time, I would ask you to just take a moment and ponder if that is really so, or that if that is so because you haven't given it deeper thought, you haven't paid it deeper attention, you haven't thought strongly about it, or it hasn't really started affecting you as much, it hasn't started hurting yet. So it'll be great if we can just, ponder about it, and maybe give attention to the fact that we are losing our authenticity. We no longer want to be authentic. We want to be clones. We want to do things in a template, fall into a pattern, a mechanical way of communication, of interaction, of networking. And we are giving these mechanical interactions the name of relationships, of bonding. These are not relationships. These are not really the way human relationships were meant to be. Human relationships were always meant to be lived truly from the heart, truly from the heart. And I feel very strongly about that. And I have this acute sense since many years of sadly watching things falling apart, relationships becoming more and more insignificant. Yes, there are more people today in an average person's life, not in mine. I'm not talking about mine. There are in any average person's life, because of the connection through technology. Everybody has more and more people on their Facebook and on their WhatsApp, and more connections. But as I said, it's just that there's very few of those people who you would even know much about. People are like, they are like numbers on a list. They are like numbers on your friends list, or you're a number in a group, or a number in a party. And nobody really questions that. Maybe they do, but not deeply enough. They're okay with that. So I think it's time we truly start bringing back whatever is authentic in human relationships, truly nurturing that more and giving it love, giving it attention, so that we can all shine again. We can all truly give our relationships which are dying away. We can truly give the relationships the attention that they deserve, so that we can truly know that to have a bond which is true and a relationship which is true, we need to be strong enough to go deeper into people. We need to do that, to really go deeper into people, to know people for who they truly are, and to be able to express ourselves for who we truly are. So, well, I guess that was a long rant, and I had been wanting to share this, to talk about this since quite a while, but then each time I ended up not doing it because I thought I have this channel, and the channel was created with the sole purpose of talking about essential oils, about Reiki also lately, and I should perhaps just stick to those topics. And I never ended up making this video, which I finally did today. But today, I guess the urge was too strong. It was strong enough, and there was a voice which nudged me, and I really wanted to make this video. And why not? Because beyond a point, even whatever I do, even if I'm a professional aromatherapist or Reiki practitioner, those are parts of me which flow from within me. I wouldn't have been any of these things had these things not been a part of my own personal journey of life. Even my profession, even the things I do for work, and everything I read, everything I do, every opinion that I have inside me related to whatever, it is all a part of me. So in that sense, everything is interrelated to the person I am. And this is my channel to express that, to be able to voice it out in whatever way it feels right, in whatever way I feel the urge to at a given point of time. And I'm glad that I ended up doing that today, and I ended up giving voice to a lot of internal dialogue which I have inside me. I'm very comfortable having these kind of dialogues on a one-to-one basis with people I'm close to. I'm very comfortable sharing my deep, honest, vulnerable self. And sometimes I'm also comfortable doing that on Facebook group in a limited way, because again, I know the people there. I have a very limited set of people, and I have known most of those people at some point of time, and they're not really strangers. So sometimes, but I've never really done something like this on a page, on a forum as personal, as public as Facebook. So I'm doing that for the first time, and I'm glad I did. So I don't know how many people are going to listen to this, but it just feels good to be able to vocalize it and to put it out there for whoever comes across it, and whoever resonates with it, and whoever gets down to pondering to what I said after listening to the video, and whoever is able to go, is motivated to go just a little bit more deeper and really think about, have they really lost that authenticity, and do they really, is it something which is really bothering them? Would they want their relationships to be more honest, to be more true? Because if they are not, then trust me, those are not going to pass the test of times. They're going to pass the test of good times, but they are definitely not going to pass the test of all times. Trust me, I know that. So this is something to stop and ponder about today. And I don't know if I'll be making any more videos. I will surely, if I feel strongly about again over another topic. And I do usually feel strongly about a lot of things in my journey. And perhaps I will make another video the next time I feel like doing so. But till then, thank you for listening to me today, for those of you who did. And I wish us a lot of success in truly being and truly getting connected with our authentic, true, honest selves, for our own selves and for those who truly mean a lot to us. That's all for today. See you again. Bye for now.